Hi guys, my name is Rodney Banta, otherwise known as Rodnator, and this is the Barbarian. So the Barbarian is my second favorite class right behind the Fighter because I'm very predictable and I love to hit things with big old weapons. So guys, to say I'm excited to record this is just, it's just the pits. So like, the Barbarian gets at first level, they get fast movement, they have an illiteracy penalty, and they get rage once per day. So these are all very important class abilities. Fast movement is going to upgrade your normal 30-foot speed for a medium up to 40, or it's 20 to a 30. So that allows the Barbarian to say wear medium armor and still just be as fast as a light armored character, or wear light armor and be the fastest member of the party, right up there with the monk. The Barbarian is not a very smart character, though. In fact, one of their main class abilities, Rage, is going to immediately make them unable to do most intelligence-based things. So, for instance, when you read Rage, a Barbarian can fly into a screaming blood frenzy a certain number of times per day. In a Rage, a Barbarian gains phenomenal strength and durability, but becomes reckless and less able to defend himself. You gain a temporary +4 bonus to Strength and a temporary +4 bonus to Constitution. That's going to grant you a +2 to hit and a +2 hit points per hit dice, as well as a -2 to your armor class. Now, what that's going to do is that's just because you're not guarding yourself. The Barbarian in a Rage is just swinging wildly. I'm going to kill everything around me. They also get a +2 on will saves while they're in a Rage too, because you're not thinking. So if a guy goes, sleep! You're like, you're not sleeping anywhere. You're just going to keep killing him. So then, so of course, the rest of this is just describing how the strength buff and the con buff are going to give you the +2 and +2 respectively. The Barbarian also gets a full base attack bonus, same as the Fighter, meaning that you're going to unlock a second attack at 6th level, 11th level, and 16th level, giving you another attack, thus more opportunities to kill little, weak, puny people, as the Barbarian would probably call them. So, on top of that, you get Uncanny Dodge as you level up. So at level 2, Uncanny Dodge, what that's going to do is it gives you like a 6th sense. You cannot be caught flat-footed. So it's literally like, oh yeah, you have to be 6 levels higher of a rogue than the Barbarian to hit him with a sneak attack. Like, dude, guy is so used to being surrounded by enemies, you can't backstab him. I mean, literally can't do it. So like, also, you get Trap Sense at level 3. Trap Sense is exactly like what the Rogue has, except there's a bit different of a lore reason. The Rogue gets Trap Sense because he's like, I am so used to making traps and watching for traps that I am even better at searching for traps. The Barbarian's like, I am so used to walking into these traps, I'm so used to getting hit by fireballs and arrows, that I just know what to look for now. I'm sick of it. So like, that's the idea why the Barbarian gets it, which is really cool because I like it. I like that a lot. And the Barbarian is going to get full martial weapon proficiency, and he's going to get full armor proficiency except tower shields. Now, with that armor proficiency, you want to be careful because medium armor is going to allow you to use your fast movement and your rage abilities, whereas if you go into heavy armor, you no longer gain access to that, because the idea is you need to be moving freely. That plate mail is going to get in the way of you wildly swinging to kill everybody you can possibly kill. So, on top of that, the Barbarian gets a D12 hit dice. That is the biggest hit dice in the game. That means at level 1, assuming you have a 16 con, you're rocking already 15 hit points. The Wizard will not possibly get 15 hit points until 3rd to 4th level. Like, at level 1, you are 4 Wizards tough. Now, that is to be expected because the Wizard is the weakest, but even the Cleric only gets a D8, and he's supposed to be up there in the front line. You're a stage better than the Fighter at a D10, so if anyone wants to say they're tougher than you, they better be a Barbarian or they're wrong. It's just the facts. They are wrong. You probably have more hit points than them. Now, of course, when you run into things like Undead, they also get a D12, but that is because they just don't care. They're tough because they don't have nerve endings or whatever, so they don't feel pain. So the Barbarian's class skills are going to be, and of course the key ability for each skill, are Climb using Strength, Craft using Intelligence, once again, very important. You always want to have your craft weapon smithing so you can say, hey, I keep my axe really nice and clean. Like, of course, as a Barbarian, though, you might say, nah, I just have craft religious holy symbol wooden totem. I just make wooden totems of cord. Like, all the time. I grab a stick, I whittle it. Yeah, sure, whatever. Of course, you get Handle Animal because you're a nature person. You're used to being out with animals, so you know how to tame and take care of wild animals. Intimidate. Oh boy, the Barbarians intimidate. I mean, just a Barbarian to look at them is going to be intimidating. They're passively bigger, stronger, meaner people. So when people walk up to them, they might be like, oh, that's a Barbarian. I'm going to stay 3 feet over on this side of the street and just let him pass. Because I don't want any chance of him raging, because if he rages, he's killing everyone in town. Like, on top of that, you also get Jump, Listen, Ride. Jump using Strength, Listen using Wisdom, and Ride using Dex. So your Barbarian can still ride a horse just like your Fighter can. Like anything that's not using, let's say, intelligence required feats that a fighter can do, a barbarian can do. And if you're a smart enough barbarian, you can do everything a fighter can do. Now, except, I guess, bonus feat potential. Of course, you have survival, which means that you know how to make fires in the woods, something a fighter did not have. So you can make fire in the woods, you can find your way through, like, say, brush, you could take the track feat and use survival to track things. Like, it's a class skill, so you don't have to worry about burning a ton of feats just to get it worth nothing. Now, on top of that, we have swim. Pretty straightforward strength skill. Now, the barbarian is going to want to stick around to medium armor, and light armor, of course, for low levels. So when you're weaker, I would say don't bother with a breastplate because you want that 40 feet of speed. Early levels, you're going to be having so many hit points, so much damage, and so much ability to hit things comparative to your enemies, usually being 1 hit dice to 4 hit dice at best monsters. You're going to want to sprint in there, get surrounded by them, and just start cutting them to bits. At level, so a barbarian is usually played by either a human or a half-orc, I would say. And of course, there are you can play a barbarian with anything. Like a gnome barbarian is still really good because it gets a bonus to constitution, and it's a small class creature, so it gets a bonus to armor class. But then it's going to downgrade its damage dice on its weapon. So a barbarian is going to be able to use all martial weapons and as well as all simple weapons. And the barbarian, you pretty much always want to have a two-handed weapon. And the reason for that is because of the 1.5 strength modifier for using a two-handed weapon. That stacks with your rage, so if you get +2 damage, that's +2 damage in your right hand and +1, so you're actually getting a +3 to your damage while you rage. So I do a power attack -5, right? I'm raging, so I have a strength bonus of +3. I'm only at a -2 to get +10 to damage. And that's also going to be a +13 because of my rage, before my own strength modifier. And that's just the beginning. The barbarian, the barbarian is going to be your absolute top of the line, I'm going to kill you class. They get damage reduction as they level up. Damage reduction is going to mean basically if somebody shoots an arrow at you and it does 1 damage, that it literally hit your skin and fell off. You're that mean, you're that tough, you don't care that much. That literally, things hurt you less. And damage reduction is going to be one of the strongest qualities in the entire game. My recommendation, get yourself a chain shirt at level 1, and then around level 4, upgrade that into an adamant chain shirt, because that's going to give you another damage reduction point on top of that for being adamant armor. That's also going to upgrade to medium armor, but that's not hurting you too much. Now, I'm looking at anything else that I may have missed. Yeah, the skill points. So barbarians get 4 plus intelligence modifier skill points per level, multiplied by 4 at first. So you're not going to have a huge array of skill points to play with, but you're definitely not a 2, so you can still do pretty much most things anyone else can do within your class skill list. Well, anyway, guys, that was the Barbarian. Have a really nice day.